Every day, brands are talking. Sometimes they are being misunderstood, and some other time they are being hurt. But whichever way, this is Brand Sense, where we look at how brands are communicating, what they say, what they get in return as feedback, and how they handle feedback, whether it becomes feed forward or you take them to the back. So I'm Coach Daniel, and today's episode is beaming searchlight on how brands are. I won't let you know until I'm back. Okay, we're back after this time out. In Nigeria, December is not just like any other month. In fact, practically speaking, in Nigeria, every other month is neat until it gets to December when it becomes dirty, not dirty. I mean, dirty December. Festive activations, brands are busy, customers are busy. But in the midst of this, what is the effect of this dirty December on brands? It's like every brand is on their toes. When it's December, in fact, some start planning for December from as early as the mid-year. So let's look at this from the public relations perspective, from brand management perspective, from marketing communication perspective. Are brands really getting it right? Or they are just joining the noise bandwagon? Everybody is doing dirty December. We get so that you don't get dirty instead of having dirty December. All right. I have very amazing, in fact, these are one of the best people you can have to discuss this, have this conversation. One of them is making his premiere on Brand Sense. But before that, let's start from the left. Ekene, welcome to Brand Sense.
Hello.
Nice having you around.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is your yellow. Okay, let me not cast the
Leave
color.
it.
Leave it.
Oh, leave it.
Don't go there.
Yes.
Okay, and making his debut on Brand Sense, it's a pleasure to have our amazing, very cerebral communication practitioner, Godwin, on the show. Godwin, welcome to Brand Sense.
You make it look for my bed.
All right. I don't need to do that. Guys, everywhere, even I'm sure while you're driving down to this place now, the atmosphere has changed. Yeah. The only thing is that I'm not sure whether the road is dirty, but the atmosphere is dirty because it's dirty December. Brands are under a marketing pressure at this moment. So let's unbundle that first. Why is it that brands are under this? I don't want to describe the pressure, but there's a marketing pressure at the moment. If there are incomes now, even this time we are spending having this conversation, there are deliverables on our desk. So why are brands under this marketing pressure at this moment?
Okay, let me take that first. Hi everybody. Hi. So really the pressure isn't even about the dirty December. The pressure is about the year is ending. Have I met my deliverables? And so you're so you know that at the beginning of the year, especially when it is goods, FMCG, services, everybody has some sort of targets. So as the year is, winding down, the pressure is actually have I met my target? What will the next year be like? Would the target go up? What would the feedback? What would the all that? And then so funny enough, it then coincides with Detty December. And then if you are a brand that maybe hasn't met your targets, you then look at it as an opportunity that, oh, what campaigns can I do to ensure that this December I can mop up as much as I can. So that is where the pressure comes from. But if you met your target, basically you'll still be chilled a bit, and then December will be like a bonus to you. But let me give
Okay.
Maybe you add more.
Okay.
Okay. Before now, December has always been the norm. Whether you are a brand, you always want to ensure that, just like what she said, that you want to meet target. But at this point in time, it has become a cultural thing, you get, which makes it more relevant and very key when it comes to brands, and marketing. Now, before now, there was nothing like Dirty December. Dirty December, that word came into being, just I think about
before COVID.
Yes, do you get?
Yeah.
and everybody picked up. In fact, as I speak to you, I is it not these guys
Life sport.
live sport just
Yeah,
trademark it,
yeah.
and it's and by trademark, you know what that means?
Yeah.
That means till let's say Jesus comes.
Now they renew trademarking, right? It has a tenure.
Like 99 years or something.
You
somewhere.
get
That's
so till Jesus come, it's going to be the norm,
Mm.
especially in this part of the world. And again, yes, there are pressures for brands because you have one of the key things brands would want to do is not just sell products. For me, this season is one of the most relevant season for any brand.
Visibility.
Yes, for visibility and one creating a lasting experience,
Mm.
for your customers
Mm.
and potential customers because you are getting into a new year. You want to have because January is can
60 days.
exactly when you get into January, there are a lot of things, commitment, school fees,
Rents,
as well
bills,
bills. You get so if you check from research, I might be wrong. I'm talking about my own. you know, the way you buy things in January reduces,
Yes.
which is why people will say that January
60 days.
yeah, exactly. Do you get so brands want to ensure that December they create that lasting
Maximize it.
experience that will move into
The
the
new
next
year.
year, the new year.
Amazing.
Yeah.
This is quite insightful. We're not really in, and it's getting even rather interesting
We still
with
dey
the
come.
passage of now. You talked about that. This is the period where you have the visibility, but one thing comes to mind at a period as this, the customers are more sensitive to the information that you pass. But what are the factors that could make or mar, brand activities or activations in this dirty December? Some brands have been made in
Yeah.
December, some have been
Mad.
mad. So what are those factors that brands need to exercise caution about? Or if you recall instances where some brands have been broken
Yeah.
or made by the virtue of dirty December. So
Okay. As brands, this December you have to be careful because you can even cause more damage in terms of reputation, to your brand if you're not careful. Because don't move with the trends. The fact that we have dirty December. Now, let me start with this key point. Before December, which is dirty, is it dirty or dirty?
it's dirty.
Dirty.
Not specifically. Maybe what they meant was to have fun.
I would like that the twisted instead of a DIRTY,
Yeah.
DETTY.
which is why that's why I mentioned the culture thing. You have to tweak things to suit what you're doing. Back to your question, don't forget.
I was asking the things that could make or mar activation of
Now,
brand activity.
before you get into the dirty December plan, your planning starts maybe let's say June, preparing for
before.
way before. Because most brands just want to leverage trends in December, which might, what you're not prepared for, you might not be able to take hold of it.
Yeah.
And again, brands also need to be careful the kind of, activities they jump on. You get now, if you look at some brands, can I mention brands?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's say the likes of the Heineken, the Pepsi, and the likes. If you check the trends now, you will see that they are leveraging sport, fashion, that has to do with, relevant activities
In the
that exactly that connect to
Them.
them.
Yeah.
But some brands just move away totally from what they're doing. Yeah, it can work for them, but you have to be careful. And again, the kind of influencers also, these are the age of influencers. Every brand wants to leverage one or two influencers. So these are maybe things brand needs to be careful about so that they will put their brands, in trouble. You need to checkmate things. You need to know, where your brands is, what they are leveraging, the trends. Don't just jump on trends. what? Do your research to know, is this trend relevant, with what we want to do as a brand?
Amazing, amazing. So while you add to that, let's talk about visibility and credibility.
Okay.
Brands are so driven by visibility, and some are in the process they lose their credibility. So how do you strike a balance? What's your role as a PR person to ensure that there's a caution in that area? So add
Okay.
to what.
So what I would say is, like Godwin has said, this is December is the month of the month, basically. But there's something we always say, especially when we're doing a strategy document, where you say you don't want to get lost in the midst of the noise.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you might not even have the money to make as much noise as some big brands. So you might not even get that visibility you're talking about. So which is where what Godwin said comes into play, planning. It's not, don't look at it as a competition with anybody. You're not here as a brand to make the loudest noise, especially if you don't have that budget to make the noise. So I'm not going to mention any brand and start comparing, but I'm just saying. So, for example, we know that year on year, Pepsi always does something in December, and then you decide that you want to do something to that level, but
Okay.
maybe you don't have the money to do a pan-Nigerian, even just radio jingle. Kilo day now. So where visibility and credibility? Oh yeah, that's where it comes in. So what I would basically say is planning. And when you're planning, you need to be strategic. You don't need to be everywhere. You just need to be where your customers are, your target audience are. If you really, really, really narrow it down, then it would make it easy, and to help you. So planning and being strategic. And then when it comes to visibility, sometimes not all noise is good noise. Like
brand
what
sense,
you
that's
said.
brand sense. Not all noise is good noise.
Not all noise is good noise. You also need, like Godwin said, the kind of trends you jump on. You know that when a trend starts, you don't know how it's going to end.
Okay, let me, these days is the age of virality. Everybody wants,
To go
one
viral.
influencer that is trending.
Exactly.
Just want, let me use that. But when you profile such influencer, it doesn't fit into
Your brand. Not even
You get-
that. When trends start, do you know how the trend is going to end? No.
Exactly.
So you jump on the trend as a brand, and then if it ends up in a negative way, you now start running helter skelter. So sometimes it's not all trends. It's not all noise. You basically want to jump on, which is why I would track back and say, as a brand, have your social media strategy. Have your strategy when it comes to everything. Have your platforms that you can engage on. There are some brands that if you call them now and say, come and sponsor an entertainment or music show, they'll tell you no, because it's not what they do. So even though the music shows are all happening throughout December, and that is what is giving visibility, for them, they would rather maybe do sports. They would rather do something else. So as a brand, focus on your focus.
Focus on your focus.
Have your platform. If you say that these are the three pillars that we're going to do: environment, entertainment, youth empowerment. Wow. If you say it is health, even during December, you can still do something health-based. Without exactly without necessarily being entertainment.
So are you saying that as a brand, with the Detty December flu here and there, you can decide to abstain and say, this December we're not, or you must do something? I'm just
Don't see. It depends on the Is it all the brands that are doing something in December? No, but I'm asking you. Is it all the brands that are doing something? It's not all.
As in big brands.
But
You can
What's
find
your
it.
definition of big brand? Let's not go there, Sha. Because we won't go into today, but
but me,
Now,
I will, it, will I say, it's pathetic. Yes. When I hear that some brands don't even have marketing budget. I've heard that a
let's
lot.
not go into that one.
You get, I read that a lot. But for me, honestly, every brand that wants to be relevant,
She had.
well, yeah, should have at least have a space in this dirty December, no matter how small
small.
the budget is. Either leveraging an event, there are
Okay.
big brands that are putting event together. You can leverage their event. You can have a booth. You get, like, for example, let's say Davido's concert, Pepsi is sponsoring it, or Wema Bank is sponsoring it.
Mm.
I can decide to have a booth. You get,
Mm.
let's say a Spectranet now will have a booth at that Wema Bank event,
Event.
concert event. So there's a way you can, like that strategic, you have to think through it. But my own key point is leverage this dirty December. You
It
get,
depends, really. As much as I agree with you to
Mm.
an extent, I don't think, okay, fine, you can leverage, but might not necessarily all be about entertainment.
no, not necessarily. Yeah, yeah, about entertainment.
It might not necessarily be about
They focus on what
entertainment.
aligns more with your
Exactly. You can focus on something that aligns with your brand. So because I can say this is the season of giving.
Mm.
Can I go to, say, like a Lagos food bank? I remember when, but I don't think it was December, one of our clients then. You can go to a Lagos food bank and say, oh, I'd like to give to a certain community, and find a way to amplify that giving in your own way for your
But I
brand.
have an observation. You know that there are passion points. You get, other passion, and I feel strongly that every brand should have
Oh,
their own
definitely,
passion point.
definitely.
Okay, whether
Or pillars, or
yes,
whatever
you
you want
can
to
be
call it.
yes, you can be a medical brand. You get, maybe in hospitality, where I want to leverage sport.
Oh, yes.
The reason is this. From observation, I realized that this dirty December, people go leverage this passion points. Yeah. Sports, music, um, is it movies?
Movies,
You get,
yes, yes. Even
Art.
arts.
Art. Do you
Yes.
get? CAF is coming now. The Nations Cup. As a
AFCON,
brand, AFCON, what are you doing to leverage this?
From that.
Do you get? So that's what I'm saying, that, yeah, you might not you might go for other things, but those passion points.
Point, and it's well noted.
Yeah.
This is getting, very, very interesting. I like us to open another angle to this. For every public relations activity or campaign, there's an end in mind. The end, whatever it is, whether you're doing Dirty December, what's the end? What's the goal? Is it just awareness? Is it just engagement? Is it conversion? Can we say that Dirty December helps in converting? Is it converting? Can we really say that Dirty December is converting, or it's just more of activities, just join the bandwagon? So
it depends on what you're doing, which is where sometimes, which is why I say not all noise is because you can just be making noise and it is not converting, it's not engaging. Again, as a brand, you need to know what your end goal is. Like you said, yes, leverage it, but what do you want to leverage out of it? Is it visibility? Again, you know that this 30 December is the time where our brethrens come in. So are you a brand that needs them to know about you, that when they travel back, they will know about and start using your service? So it depends on what your end goal is. Your end goal will then determine the kind of campaign or activity you should engage in. You might go and leverage a music concert now and sponsor, and you don't do any form of activation or even engagement during the music concert. They'll just put your logo, oh, sponsored by Coach Daniel, and everybody hears it. Once they go out of the door, that's the end. I remember someone recently told me, I can't remember what, it was a sports event, and the tussle was between, I think, Coke and Pepsi. I think they both sponsored or something. And they said one of the brands, branded inside the stadium, and then the other brand was outside. Brand had viewing centers outside. I can't remember what it was. I think it was in South Africa or something. And so people that were in the stadium, of course, were looking at the one that branded. But when you came outside, the one outside was engaging you. Which one will you remember when you get home?
Outside.
I leave that for you to.
Let me take it from her
Where's
point, which is why this Dirty December brands should create experiences for their audience, for their customer, rather than selling products. Yeah, the end goal is you want to make sales, you get, but that experience is what will drive, and keep that will be in their hearts. You get, that will win their heart and live with them, like forever. You get. So
that saying, sorry, I think it's Maya Angelou. People will forget something, but they will never forget how you make them
And they will forget what you said, but they will not forget how you made them feel.
Exactly.
yeah.
Experience.
So it's and let me also add to what she said about the question about what
Whether it's converting.
yeah, it depends on the goal actually. Do you want to create awareness, create visibility? You get. But like I said, the end goal, from my observation, or from maybe is create that experience.
Don't focus so much on conversion this period. Because if you
Or can you take the two side by side, sales with experience?
No, there will be sales.
The conversion is what will even bring the pressure.
Yeah, that's why you see this period. Even products, they give out more product this period.
A lot of sampling and all that. If I don't taste your product, how am I going to buy it?
Exactly. You get, so that's why
maybe a car product can, you can just give me the product to test and taste, and
it's test drive.
But really, that's
you can test drive. We can drive.
We can drive and go over there. Give me. After you test drive, who would drive you?
Okay, amazing. Let's look at it this way. I think it suffices to look at top brands that are topping this Dirty December period. Does that come to mind?
The only one that comes to mind is Pepsi, because they've been consistent year after year, and they've had shows over time, and I think they've been deliberate about it because of the kind of audience that they are targeting. So Pepsi is the one that comes to mind. Although this year Live Sports have made a show, especially with trademarking, and the name or something, and so those are the two that come to mind. Others, maybe you need to do better.
I know Guinness.
Okay.
Heineken, Guinness. MTN too. MTN has always been relevant this season.
I haven't exactly. See, the people that they are all talking to are different people.
Yes.
Basically.
So,
and then, like I said,
for some of the events I've at least privileged to anchor or attend this period, I've seen some
brand
Pepsi.
No, Pepsi. I'll give it to Pepsi. So guys, this is a whole lot. I mean, a lot to chew. But then, as we wrap things up, while I take your parting shot, I also like you to drive a message home on how brands can be more cautious and not get lost in the reckless, tendencies that are out there for celebration mood. So they don't get so. I don't know who you're going to.
Okay,
I mean, we best.
Okay,
and I like that's so. Okay, I would say that brands should plan. Don't just come into December and Dirty December. Plan from June, like even Godwin said. We just plan from the beginning of the year. Have a marketing budget, like you said, and allocate a budget to December. And then when you get into the December, because you see a trend, don't just jump on it. Have your plan, have your strategy, have the goal that you want to achieve, focus on your focus and stick to it. Don't deviate. Because when you deviate, that's where the recklessness might come in, because you don't know what the end goal of that diversion would be. I think that's what I'll say. Godwin.
Okay, so I would say don't take, I'm speaking to brands now, don't take PR marketing, for granted. A lot of times it's irritating actually. Let me speak to that. It's irritating actually when you hear organizations say we don't have marketing budgets, we don't have, and you're like, okay, how do you want to make sales? How do you want to create that experience for your, no matter how small? Don't take PR and marketing for granted. And again, all virality um, is not the main thing. You get exactly. I love that all noise is not the noise. You get plan well strategically and ensure that you create a lasting experience for your people, your customers, whether potential customers or your target audience. And that is the whole essence of Dirty December. Not just selling products, or making sales, but creating a lasting experience for them. Yeah.
You know what? I would like maybe after this whole talk. There's a song that is trending. Over December.
Ọnwa Disemba n'olubego. Ọnwa ejewa nwụli, ọnwa Disemba n'olubego. Ọnwa mụrụ Jesu. That's what I'm singing for you. Ọnwa mụrụ Jesu. Ọnwa December December month is here. It's coming. It has reached. The year that he gave birth to the Lord has reached. The year that the month of happiness and joy. That's what it is.
Yeah. Well, our in French means enjoyment.
David, I don't know that one. Though. Yeah. I beg.
All right, guys, I must say it's been an amazing moment.
Yeah.
Everything. So thank you so much.
Thank you. We look forward to you inviting us again.
It's good meeting again.
Oh, my sweetheart. Thank you.